So the 1 through 3 energies are going to be talked about here. 1 is going to be concerning the extent of your power. 2, the value of what you feel to be your own natural abilities and talents. 3, learning through experience the results of various types of behavior. So 1 through 3, like I said in the intro, is figuring out who you are and what something is. Like, who am I? What makes me who I am? Or for a business or a creative project, this is your mission statement. What is the concept of the business or project and the purpose it comes to serve, or the needs this company will meet? You can plug in other variables into this configuration that you see fit outside of the ones I just mentioned, and we'll go from there. So 1, consciously or unconsciously, represents the birth of a new impulse. Your identity and everything created by you starts from there with that new impulse. It's the beginning, it's a start, and it's associated with leadership and self-assertiveness. It's you alone as you are and what you believe about yourself. It's your personality and your foundation. It is the I am. In astrology, you would study your first house to discover what your true self is and how your spirit moves. The 1 energy also represents how to become your true self. And like I said, it's a new impulse to live. And independent is the independent existence as an I am. Okay, spirit works through a particular person and situation, through what is unique and new in them. The 1 task of a truly connected life or project is for a particular person or project to accomplish this particular task for which it was born or created. To be your true self is to be able to bring to a clear and distinct focus the spirit within and through yourself as an individual. The I am, or the spirit within, is to be exteriorized, demonstrated, and made actual. What counts spiritually is to be distinctly, precisely, in a clear, focused manner what one essentially is. It is to be one's true self, your true perspective. And some of this information is coming from the works of Dane Rudhyar. You'll see the information below. And from the Celestine Prophecy, we talk about noticing synchronicity. Synchronicity is the entry point, the measure of whether we're connected spiritually. Stand in a state of alert expectation concerning the major questions of your lives, or the help we need increases the frequency of the synchronistic answers. So the next energetic representation of 1 is going to be about hearing. And I'm pulling from the first disciple and discipline of the mind, represented by Simon Peter, aka The Rock, who was given the keys to the kingdom of heaven by discovering that the I am is the way, the truth, and the light. And besides the I am, there is no savior. That means there is no solution except for through you, the I am. So anytime anybody comes to you with blame, they can't say anything about how they contributed to this co-creation and outcome. I know automatically, or you should know automatically as well, that they have no discernment in the situation. So if I even think about blaming somebody or something, I think about it again. I think about it twice and even 3 times. Just like, the song Lionel Richie, once, twice, 3 times, because I'm a lady. I'm just kidding. But, rethink that if you're considering blaming any person, place, or thing outside of yourself for anything. It's just being mirrored back to you, okay? So the first quality to be called and excuse me, the first quality to be called and disciplined is Simon, or the attribute of hearing. This faculty, when lifted to the level of a disciple, only permits thoughts to reach its consciousness, which his hearing has commanded him to let enter. No matter what the wisdom of man or media might suggest, or the evidence of his senses convey, If such suggestions and ideas are not in keeping with that which he hears from his intuition, he remains unmoved, like unbothered for real. Okay? The instructions to Simon is that he should permit only dignified and honorable visitors and thoughts to enter his house in consciousness. No mistake can be covered up or hidden. Every expression of life reveals whom he has consciously or unconsciously entertained. When when Simon proved himself to be truthful and faithful, he received the surname of Peter, or the Rock, the unmoved, aka unbothered disciple, the one who cannot be bribed or coerced by any visitor. Simon Peter faithfully listens to his intuition and decides which commands he hears not. Okay? 2 energy, consciously or unconsciously, represents your values, what you value, and what's important to you. It also represents what brings inner balance and harmony to you. In astrology, you will study your second house to see how to use what you possess, such as all inherited and acquired natural abilities and talents, or inner and outer, psychological, as well as economic possessions and wealth. As spiritual or connected beings or souls, the body is our first possession. Many people don't really care to demonstrate their 1 energy, individual selfhood, or their 2 energy, individual sense of value. Most of the times we don't use our possessions. We let our possessions use us. Okay? The next energetic representation of 2 is courage. And I'm pulling from the second disciple and discipline of the mind, represented by Andrew. As the first quality, faith in oneself or in the I am is developed, it automatically calls into being its brother, courage. The faith of the undisciplined man is not faith. It's if the armies, medicines, or wisdom of man in which his faith is placed be taken from him, his faith and his courage go with it. But from the disciplined one, the whole world could be taken, and yet he would remain faithful in the knowledge that the state of consciousness in which he abides must, in due time, embody itself. This courage is Peter's brother Andrew, the disciple who knows what it is to dare, to do, and to be silent. The 3 energy, consciously or unconsciously, represents your mental, how you think, and how you process thoughts and information. In astrology, you will study your 3rd house to discover how you use your immediate surroundings as testing grounds to discover the results of various types of behavior. So the 3rd house is the field of experience in which we discover ourselves by testing the reactions of our environment to the way we use what we own, our natural abilities, our natural talents, our endowment. The 3 energy is about mastering your everyday relationships. You can submit to the environment and develop a sense of passive acceptance or of personal inferiority. You can also fight back against the impacts of life and of people's actions towards you. You can be clever and cunning. You can use your inborn intelligence and instinct of self-preservation in order to change people and circumstances, or to use them to your advantage. You can radiate such love and happiness that would-be enemies become friends or servants. In other words, you can relate yourself to people and things in your immediate daily surroundings in a great variety of ways. The problem as an individual is to find the best way for you, and the best way is always the way which enables you to exteriorize and prove to others that which you essentially are as an individual, your true self, and your true perspective. Now, I'm going to present our 3rd discipline of the mind and disciple in the next video because it goes hand in hand with 4. So I'm going to bring you those together when we talk about the 4 energy.